Little Witty's big day. Little Witty bounced a bit on his toes, his usually bright eyes a little dim. Today was a big day, the biggest day he'd ever faced. It was his first day at a new school, and for the first time in his life, his best friend, Ruffles, wouldn't be right by his side. Ruffles, with her chocolate brown fur and big, happy eyes, seemed to understand. She nudged Witty's hand with her wet nose, her tail giving a soft thump-thump against his leg. Since Witty was 6 years old, when Ruffles first came to live with him, she'd been his constant shadow. Every homeschooling adventure, every tricky puzzle, every scraped knee, Ruffles was there. She was his furry comfort, his loyal companion, his best friend. "You be a brave boy, Witty," his mom said, giving him a hug. Witty gave Ruffles one last, tight squeeze, burying his face in her soft fur. "Be good, Ruffles," he whispered. Ruffles licked his cheek, as if promising to wait patiently. The school building loomed large, a bustling castle filled with unfamiliar faces. As Witty walked through the noisy halls, a knot tightened in his stomach. He missed Ruffles already, her steady presence a warm blanket he couldn't bring with him. His first challenge came in math class. The teacher, a kind lady named Ms. Lily, wrote a complicated-looking problem on the board. Witty stared at the numbers, his mind a blank. Usually, when he felt stuck, he'd glance at Ruffles, who'd often let out a little sigh that seemed to say, "You've got this." This time, he was on his own. He took a deep breath, just like his mom always told him to do. He remembered the steps they'd practiced at home and slowly, carefully, he worked through the problem. When Ms. Lily said, "That's correct, Witty," a small smile spread across his face. He'd done it. Next was art class, which Witty usually loved. Today, they were drawing a fantastical creature. Witty grabbed his crayons, but his mind felt empty. He imagined Ruffles curled up beside him, perhaps inspiring a furry, winged beast. But Ruffles wasn't there. He looked at the other children, confidently sketching. He thought about how Ruffles always encouraged him, even when his drawings looked more like blobs than anything else. He decided to draw his own creature, something goofy and kind, just like Ruffles. He drew a fluffy monster with huge, happy eyes and a wagging tail. It might not have been a perfect dragon, but it was his. Lunchtime was the hardest. The cafeteria was loud, filled with chattering voices. All the tables seemed full of kids who already knew each other. Witty clutched his sandwich, feeling a wave of loneliness wash over him. He imagined Ruffles resting her head on his lap, sharing a crumb or two. A boy with bright red shoes, who was sitting alone at a small table, looked up and smiled. "Is that an alien sandwich?" he asked, pointing to Witty's curiously shaped sandwich. Witty giggled. "No, it's just a bit squished," he replied. They started talking about their favorite superheroes, and soon, the knot in Witty's stomach loosened. He'd made a new friend, all by himself. The rest of the day flew by. Each time Witty faced a moment of doubt or anxiety, he thought about Ruffles, not there to solve things for him, but as a reminder of his own bravery. He realized that he could be brave, even when she wasn't right by his side. Finally, the bell rang. Witty practically flew out of the school gates. He ran all the way home, his backpack bouncing. And there, waiting patiently on the porch, was a familiar bundle of chocolate brown fur and two big, happy eyes. "Ruffles!" Witty cried, dropping his backpack and throwing his arms around her. Ruffles wriggled with delight, covering him with happy licks. He buried his face in her soft fur, taking in her familiar scent. "I missed you so much," he whispered, holding her close. But this time, it wasn't just because he needed her. It was because he truly appreciated her. He had faced his challenges, big and small, on his own. he had discovered a strength he didn't know he had. And in doing so, he understood something important. Having a best friend like Ruffles wasn't just about having someone to help you. It was about having someone to share all the good things with, to celebrate with, and to simply be grateful for, every single day. Witty spent the rest of the afternoon telling Ruffles every detail of his big day, and Ruffles listened, her happy eyes shining, her tail thumping a steady rhythm of perfect companionship.